All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a connection so powerful it could totally flip our understanding of mental health on its head. We're talking about the invisible world inside your gut and its direct secret line to your brain. So let me start by asking you a question. What if the real secret to how you feel, how well you sleep, even how you think, isn't actually just in your head? Because that's exactly what some incredible new science is suggesting. There's this undeniable link between the trillions of tiny microbes living inside you and the most complex organ you own, your brain. And no, this isn't science fiction. This is the gut-brain axis. Okay, so where do we even begin with this? Well, let's start with something we can all relate to, sleep. And what's wild is that the relationship between your gut and your sleep, it's not a one-way street. It is a constant back and forth conversation. So check this out. You're looking at a fascinating and kind of vicious feedback loop. When you get poor sleep, it can actually mess up your gut microbiome, killing off the good bacteria. But then an unhappy gut sends out inflammatory signals that, you guessed it, make it harder to sleep. You can see how easy it is to get stuck in this cycle. And here's why that matters so much. Your gut microbes, they are not just sitting around. Think of your gut as a miniature chemical factory. I mean, get this. Over 90% of your body's serotonin, that famous feel-good chemical that regulates your mood and sleep, isn't made in your brain. Nope, it's made in your gut. They also crank out stuff like GABA, which helps you chill out, and butyrate, which fights inflammation. It's incredible. Okay, if you thought that was wild, buckle up, because this connection gets way more dramatic when we look at a radical new idea being studied for treating depression. And when I say radical, I mean radical. Yeah, it's called Fecal Microbiota Transplantation, or FMT, and it is exactly what it sounds like. The idea is to basically hit the reset button on a person's entire gut ecosystem by introducing a healthy, balanced community of microbes from a donor. And you can see why scientists are exploring ideas like this. The need for new approaches is just so urgent. We're talking about over 280 million people around the globe dealing with depression, and for a lot of them, traditional treatments just aren't cutting it. So, the big question is, does it work? Well, a huge meta-analysis from 2025, which looked at 12 different trials, came to a pretty groundbreaking conclusion. The researchers found that, FMT did significantly reduce depressive symptoms. They're seeing it as a potential add-on therapy to use alongside other treatments. So, how, right? How on earth can microbes in your gut have any say over something as complex as your mood? Well, it turns out there's a biological superhighway, a whole network of communication lines running directly between your gut and your brain. They're in constant contact through at least three main channels. First, you've got chemical messengers, like that serotonin we talked about, that just hop into your bloodstream and travel right up to the brain. Second, there's the vagus nerve, which is like a direct fiber optic cable sending data back and forth. And third, there's your immune system. A huge part of it lives in your gut, and it can trigger inflammation that has a massive effect on how your brain works. Okay, now this is the part where we need to pump the brakes a little bit. As incredibly exciting as all this potential is, it is absolutely crucial that we take a hard look at the nuances. This is brand new science, and there's still a lot we don't know. For instance, here's a key detail. How you deliver the treatment matters a lot. That same big study found that while taking oral capsules did work, delivering the microbes directly into the gut with something like an endoscopy, well, that had a noticeably stronger effect. The little details are clearly super important here. And then there's the other huge question. How long do the benefits actually last? Well, the study showed really strong positive effects in that initial window, 1 to 5 months. But by the 6-month mark, those effects started to fade. They weren't statistically significant anymore. So making this last is a major hurdle we still need to figure out. And this right here, this is probably the most crucial reality check of all, and it comes directly from the study's own authors. They rated the overall certainty of the evidence as very low. Now that doesn't mean it's all wrong. It's just an honest assessment. It means because the studies were all a little different and had small groups of people, we just desperately need more, bigger, and better research. So, after all that, the amazing promise, the real-world problems, all the caveats, what's the big takeaway? What are we supposed to make of this complicated but super promising new field of science? Well, here's what we know for sure. That gut-brain connection, it is real, it is powerful, and it goes both ways. The choices you make every day, what you eat, how you sleep, they have a direct impact on those microbes. And using the gut as a gateway to treat brain disorders is an absolutely thrilling new frontier. But, and this is a big but, we have to remember this science is really truly in its infancy.
And all of this leaves us with a fascinating final thought to chew on. As we keep unraveling this incredible connection, is it possible the future of mental health care is going to shift? Are we going to move beyond just targeting brain chemistry with a pill and move toward carefully and personally curating the entire microbial world that lives inside each and every one of us? I guess only time and a whole lot more research